Hello, I'm Damien. Tashunka sa pagleshka milo. I'm here to talk to you today about what's going on in Northern California in Pit River Country in the Medici Band area. It's the foothills of Mount Shasta, and in those foothills there's a lake called Medicine Lake. And long time ago,
Damien.
the only people who were allowed to go to that place were our medicine people. And it's said that they would go on vision quest there, and they would go sit on a hill in front of the lake. And they would wait there, and when the Creator come, he would come in the form of a whirlwind. And when that whirlwind would come, it would come down on the water, and when it came, they knew that it was time for them to run down there as fast as they could and go dive in the water with that whirlwind, and that whirlwind would take them somewhere. Now, the kind of men that did these things, they trained those ways since they were young. And on that land, we had series of ponds that went way up the mountain. There'd be a pond down below, and then way up higher there'd be another pond, and up higher than that there would be another pond. And since they're young, they had to run up these hills, and they would have to carry a rock with them when they're running up their trails to build their stamina. And they would have to drop that rock and swim to the other side of the first pond, and on the other side they'd pick up another big rock and carry that way up the hill, and they'd keep doing that all the way up to train for these things. And so the Medicine Lake area is a very sacred place. We're not allowed to go there, only these people who are training to do these things. And it turns out that the Medicine Lake, it's not very big. It's not very many acres in size, but underneath is one of the biggest water cauldrons in North America, and it holds a lot of fresh water, and it's geothermal. And the Corps of Engineers wanted to give permits to allow for geothermal electricity to be supplied out of that lake. And I'm not sure how long that's been going on, but it's been going on at least since the days of my uncle Floyd Buckskin, who was a big fighter of that situation happening. And he was able to fend it off for many, many years. He fought for our land. And that went on like that for a long time. And recently, over the last decade, they tried to make some decisions and really push for it. And our people were able to band together. And so it took them 10 years to be able to get the Medicine Lake Highlands put into a monument status. And they fought very hard to get that protection put in place. And it was a very difficult thing for them to accomplish. A lot of years of work went into it, and a lot of communication with government officials, and lots of hard work. But last year they finally got it put into national monument status, and it's always our fear that those statuses from certain administrations, that those kinds of titles can be stripped from an area, and they can move back in, and so we just got to keep fighting for our homelands.
Keep fighting.
That's right. And so that, huh?
No one fight for it.
Huh? And it's just something that we need to continue to do as Native people, is continue to fight. My uncle Radley Davis is the one who's taken it up most recently, him and his wife Brandy. And they've done a really good job of getting that land secured into monument status. And I'm sure that he would appreciate me standing up here and talking about it, and World Peace and Prayer Day. And so that our little voice in Pit River Country can continue to be heard. Because the last thing that any of us want is for the government to be able to strip us of something that is going to protect a place that has meant so much to my people for thousands of years. And not only that, I mean, the government has already taken plenty from my little valley, where I come from, the place where the river bends, and now they call it the Pit River. But that's where my people is down there on this river. And in the 70s and 80s, the PG&E stepped in and put a series of dams in for electricity. And that stopped the salmon from being able to run in our area anymore. And now our river is slimy, and it's polluted, and it's not a place that is fun to go to anymore. And there's no salmon, and the salmon to my people were our lifeblood. That was our food source, just like the buffalo was to the Lakotas. That's what gave us life. And we're just really, that's something that I want to bring to the attention of Native American and to the world in general. So the Corps of Engineers put these dams into historical status. And what that means once they get into historical status in California is that they can never be taken down, ever. And they're not even producing the electricity that is required of a dam. So they're obsolete. But instead of them having to pay the money to go through and take all these dams down, they just are allowed a loophole to put it into historical status, so they can never be taken down. They can never be touched. They're some kind of a historical monument now. And all they do is ruin our waterways. And that's something that when I was there, that really, really hurt me. And it really affects our people. And those are things that need to change. Like, those are things that we need to fight for. And there's so many other issues in Native country that need fought for just like that. And we just need more people to get behind those fights. We need to come together more in these individual areas. All the people need to be fighting for these things. But it's so difficult when our people are out in the world dealing with alcohol and drugs, and dealing with having to go through turmoil in their family. And we all know what I'm talking about. We've all seen those things, and we need to be able to heal our people in a good way. We all need to be able to come back to our traditions and our ways and our languages, and in order for us to be healthy again. And so that we can continue to fight for the land, and so we can continue to fight for each other. My uncle Floyd Buckskin told me a story, and it's about a bonica, which is a Pit River word for butterfly man or moth man, they call it. And so many of us are related, and this is one of those stories about how my people are related to Pacific Islanders. And so the story is that a big wave come in the Hawaii area, and it picked people up from those islands, and a big wave brought them all the way to the coast of California. And down by the San Francisco area, particularly, is where they talked about. And when they came ashore, the people down there, they said, we need to try to get back to our home. And they didn't know what to do or where to go. And the people, they said, you're volcano people. And see that mountain up north? If you go up there, there's people up there who know and who are going to have answers for you. And they're talking about my people, Madesi people. And it's a long ways, probably 200 miles. And so, but they just headed north, and they didn't stop until they got to my area. And when they were there, they talked to some of the spiritual leaders up there, and the spiritual leaders said, we're going to send this Abonica with you, and he's going to show you the way. He's going to show you the way home. And he's going to lead you to the place where you're going to get on this bridge that's going to take you back to the islands. And that when you get on this bridge, that you can't look back. If you look back, you're going to get stuck there and you won't be able to come home. And so they did that. And it was a long journey for them because they just had to turn right around and go back down to where they came ashore. But they did it. And when they got down there, Abonica told them, those people, that this is the Rainbow Bridge, they called it. And you could see through it, but you could walk on it. And as long as you look forward and don't stop, it'll take you right back to where your home is. And so they were happy. And before they left, they had a celebration. And when they left, it was hard for them to leave because they'd become such good friends and relatives to these people that were there. But some of them did look back. And some of them did get stuck where I'm from. And so, and we kept them, and they were integrated into my people. And so that's how I'm related, and I know that I'm related to island people. And I'm sure that if we really dug deep into a lot of our Native American history, that a lot of these same kinds of stories, trade routes all across America relate all of us. And a funny thing is that my Uncle Radley, he told me after we danced once, that my people have a run that goes from Mount Shasta to Mount Lassen every year. And that's something that we did traditionally. We ran from volcano to volcano. And we still do that now. And some Hawaiians came over and they wanted to share in our run. And that we became good friends with them. And now Hawaii has a run around the Big Island. My uncle went over there and he told this story to them. And how he tells it is that he asked that if he could tell a story. And the young man said, you have to wait until our elders get here so they can hear it too. And he said it was a couple of days before the elders were there. And so they all sat down and gave them his full attention. And he told this story. And the elders looked at the young man who was sort of the host and didn't say nothing. And it left my uncle confused about what was going on. And the next day, the elders there, they said that we want you to come to this place with us. And this place has been bombed out from Pearl Harbor. And there's still live ordnance where they were. So if you can imagine that there's still this temple that's there, that every bomb missed, that temple is still there. And they took them, the people knew their route through this way, and they brought them to this temple. And there's a brother and a sister who they live there, and they're in charge of keeping all the history from the Hawaiian people at that place. And it's very secretive, and you only get to go there if you're invited with elders. And so they went there, and he told them this story again to all those elders, and the whole crowd was astonished by it because they have the same story in their history. And so it just keeps proving to me that we're all related. And it's such a beautiful thing for me to be able to talk with my uncle about, because it's just very special, all the way that indigenous people are on this continent. And if we can just find a way to dig deep into our cultures and to bring these things back again, I know that we can all be healthy again. And I know that we can all heal from our turmoils and all the things that we went through. And it's been such a sad time these last 100, 200, 300 years. And it's been such a hardship on our culture and on our children. You see it today. But if we can just grow as healthy indigenous people again, I know that we can fight harder for our places and fight harder for our homelands. And so that's what I encourage all of you to do, is to share time with your young people. If you know even a small story, go tell them. Go tell them your stories. Go share your language with them. Go allow them to be part of who you are. Bring them into your ceremonies. And that means that you need to attend those things too. And so that way we can all learn how to be strong again in a good way. Hechitulo.